Hello and welcome to Founders of the Future, the podcast making emerging technologies accessible to anyone. My name is Joe Mardell, and in this podcast I interview founders of technology startups who are pioneering our future using emerging technologies to create new industries, business models and opportunities. In this episode, I'll be speaking with Bhupesh Deshmukh, the founder of the Mumbai-based experiential marketing company Inception X. Inception X harness the power of emerging digital technologies such as extended reality, IoT, gesture recognition, and touch for showcasing clients' products offline as well as online. They are working as an interactive content development partner for many household names including Caterpillar, Hyundai, GSK, and Volvo, as well as many, many more. It's an absolute pleasure to have you on the podcast today, Bhupesh. Thank you for coming on. I've been really looking forward to speaking to you.
Thanks, Joe. Thanks. Yeah.
So, first of all, would you just like to tell us a little bit about the story of your company? What led you to start Inception X and how did that all come about?
So we started in 2015. Basically, I did my MBA from Mumbai. After that, I worked for some advertising agencies for quite a long time. And then I started working for some gaming companies. That's when I like like came in touch with augmented reality, virtual reality, and these kind of experiential technologies, which can be used for creating interactive experiences. So in 2015, like I thought I should give it a try since I have like basic understanding of these technologies and kind of connections with clients. So that's how it started. It started with like very few clients, and now we have multiple clients on board. And we have done quite good number of experiences, large scale as well as smaller experiences, which are kind of mobile based, maybe mobile applications, augmented reality or virtual reality applications. And now what we want to look do is in maybe in next 2 3 years we want to come up with experience zones, maybe in Mumbai and then some other cities as well, wherein people can interact with these technologies, which is mostly like man versus machine kind of stuff, wherein you are playing against a computer or maybe against a machine. You're not playing with your friends, so you don't have to kind of bring your friends to the experience center. You just come in and start playing with different technologies and challenge the computer rather than challenging your friends. So that is what we want to do in next 2 to 3 years.
It's a really, really great concept. The videos that I've watched of your offline events where you use different emerging technologies like AR and VR to create these experiences, it really looks like it would spark the imagination of anyone who would take part. I think it's a really, really amazing thing that you're doing because it's bringing a light, positive application to the world in a time where there's a lot of fear and anxiety. So I think the things that you're doing are really, really making a positive difference on the world.
Uh,
Is that the approach that you take? Is that what you set out to achieve with the company?
Yeah. So right now, like with current scenario, we want to focus on online solutions, which could be virtual reality based or augmented reality based, and then see how clients respond. Maybe for the next 6 months to 1 year, we'll have to stick to online solutions.
Of course. How has that been? Have you found that a struggle or have you made that transition seamlessly? How's that been for you?
To be honest, it's we are still trying to figure out what kind of solutions we can offer, and we are still in the pitching mode. We haven't closed any clients so far for online, but we are hopeful that clients will come on board as and when they understand how the technology works.
Sure. Would you like to just talk a little bit about those online offerings that you have been suggesting? how would you use those technologies online?
Yeah, so basically there are two or three applications that we can create right now. First is, let's say somebody wants to make a product presentation, which generally happens in a hotel lobby, like a banquet or something. They can do it with virtual reality. Like what we can do is we can do a chroma key of the guy who is presenting, and we can add effects to it with 3D stage and effects and everything, and it will be telecasted live on the web. So that is one
I see.
solution. And then we have conferences solutions wherein we create entire conference setups with stalls and everything in virtual reality. And when, let's say, a customer logs in, he goes to a particular stall, let's say Nokia or Intel. He can click on maybe chat, he can click on voice call, he can click on different options. Accordingly, he gets the response from the company.
So that's a really, really cool way for businesses to keep in touch with their customers and maintain their brand image in this time of social distancing. I would like to talk to you a little bit about the challenges that you've faced as a company. You've been a company for a little while now, and I imagine there's been ups and downs to that journey. Could you just talk to me about what are some of the challenges that you've had to face, and what were the solutions to those challenges?
Uh, okay, so the major challenge that we faced is basically trying to convince client to about the ideas of these technologies. Let's say they have a concept, they have a product, and we have a solution, and they have never used it. Most of the time, clients don't use all kind of solutions. Pretty often, they still go for outdoor or TV or some sort of digital web-based solution. So what we have to do is we have to educate them, and then maybe once they are educated, we have to convince them about the impact it's going to create, a user experience, and then the cost factor is there, and after that we do the actual execution. So it takes a lot of time to convince a client and to execute that project for the client. It's a long process, so that's the hardest part. Since these are all emerging technologies, clients are not used to it in India.
Absolutely. I think that's something that we're seeing across the board with all of the new technologies is that um, the wider industries, they kind of struggle to see the potential because it's so new and so um, people just haven't experienced it before. So how would you approach that problem if you were trying to um, educate a potential client on the benefits of your technology? How would you go about educating them on that?
So the best thing is you give them live demos of the technologies, and we ask like some of their executives, like let's say 4 to 5 guys from client side, to experience it and give us their understanding of the technology. So if we can give successful demos, then we can really convince the client. That's the best approach.
Mm. And have they been quite receptive to the demos? Have you found different clients to behave differently when you give a demo?
Yes, yes. So if clients are receptive, but again, decision making happens at the top level. So they have to give their feedback to the top management, and then if they are okay with it, then they go ahead with it. And then again, we have competition. It's like we might go and give a proper demo to the client and convince them about the idea, and then somebody might go and give uh, better cost. So we took the
Yeah,
demos, gets the project. So that also happens, but that's okay with us as long as they are kind of looking at it in a positive way. And they're
absolutely, absolutely. I think competition is going to be an issue for any startup, and that just means it's even more important for you guys to focus on your offering and your value proposition, which it seems to me that you have spent a lot of time working on that because the products that you offer are really, really impressive. Definitely. So, what was the journey like when you were building your first experiences when you were coming up with the products that you would like to offer? That creative process. What was that like?
So the process was like we have some people, like fortunately we have some very good programmers and designers with us. So what? So when we started with virtual reality solutions, wherein we created VR experiences for our clients' products for their marketing purpose. So we just started with maybe a one computer and then one Oculus Rift, and then I used to go and show it to clients, convince them, and with that we started getting more and more projects like that.
Yeah, that's really, really interesting. Um, where do you see the future of the company? Are you trying to expand your? I know right now, because of the current situation, you're focusing on the online side of the business, which is really, really good to see that you're adapting to the current climate. But past the COVID situation, once we've returned to some form of normality, where would you like to take the company? Would you like to focus on the offline stuff, or a bit of both, or more online? What would you see happening?
So, like I said in the beginning, we want to venture into interactive gaming, wherein we have our experience centers at maybe malls, and we have what we are going to have is we are going to have these experiences which are based on emerging technologies like VR, AR, and IoT-based experiences. So less kind of mechanical stuff, more of IoT and emerging technologies, and then people can come and play games with the computer. So basically, maybe some AI-based solutions like basic level AI interactions will have experiences. So now going forward, our major focus will be B2C kind of thing, and then what we are doing right now B2B will go on the way it is, and and also we are also trying to pitch for experience centers wherein we go and create experience centers for our clients so that they can market their product better.
That's really interesting. So, um, you'd like to focus on the consumers interacting with a computer using AR or VR, and that computer would be run by the AI. Where does the IoT come into all of this? Could you help me understand how you use the Internet of Things with all these other technologies?
Yeah, so let's say you have like you want to play table tennis. So see, so the other computer could play the other player, and your player A computer is player B. So like that, we will try and integrate. So
Yeah, that's really, 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 really interesting. And you could program different levels of difficulty for the
yeah,
AI so that kids could play with a maybe low level of difficulty, and then if you get some adults to join in, the AI will be able to customize the program
right.
depending on who's using it, which is really the benefit of AI. The fact that it can make decisions like that. It's really exciting. Are you
And
excited about the future of AI? Where do you see the future of AI going? What excites you about the future?
see the future of AI, like I'm excited about AI. I mean, there are a lot of positive things that AI can, create positive impact on our society at basic level. But the best thing about AI is, I think it's gonna be fast, real fast than what we are. So AI will help us find solutions to the problems that we have not able to find solutions for. So that's the main thing. And like autonomous cars are the best examples of AI. Like in real life, they will reduce number of accidents, and you will have a more comfortable and safer journey from point A to point B. And AI can be used in healthcare. I guess healthcare will have a lot of AI based applications. I don't know what sort, but it will have huge applications in healthcare. AI, like robotics is one of the solution. Then you have softwares like Siri and Alexa and Google Home. These will be highly intelligent going forward. So they will know a lot about us. So that's make the future. It's gonna make life much more easier than what it is right now. That's what I think.
I 100% agree with you on that. I think the future of AI and the future of humanity is a very, very exciting one. The future holds a lot of very positive things. AI holds a lot of very positive solutions to problems that we have not yet solved, ranging from transport, like you said, autonomous cars. That will be absolutely revolutionary. It will change the way that we interact with each other and our world. It will change the way that we travel around cities. It will open up endless opportunities for people who did not previously have access to those opportunities. Um, and you touched on voice as well with softwares like Alexa and different voice controlled programs. Do you see opportunities for you and your company with voice technologies? Would you like to include some form of voice in your experiences? Do you think that's an option?
Yes, pretty much. I think Alexa is kind of open source, so we are planning to experiment with Alexa and create some interactive experiences. Then there is deepfake, which is video. We can use that as well. Like in a fun way, we can use that. But we can use AI to like for picture recognition, photo recognition kind of thing. So yeah, AI has a lot of applications in our space right now.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Definitely. So, yeah, we've talked about the challenges. We've talked about what excites you about the future. Um, I would also like to just talk about the running of the business because we've talked about the technologies, but I
Mhm.
also like to get into depth about how you actually run your company. How do you manage your people? Like, I like to talk about culture and team building a lot because I think that's really interesting to hear about startups and how they approach culture and team building in comparison to the corporate side. What is your approach to building solid teams and encouraging innovation and creativity in your company?
So our approach is simple. Like when we take up any sort of projects, so a message to our team is simple: don't give up. Try and figure out solutions because see, ultimately, emerging technology, the kind of experiences that we create are not kind of impossible because we are not going to scale up our solutions. These are just maybe as one or two kind of one of kind of things. So it is more likely that if we work hard towards the problem, we'll find a solution. So that's how we keep our people motivated. We keep telling them that these are not like uh, really difficult kind of problems, and they are well aware that there are other big companies who are doing better work than us, and the kind of work that we are trying to do or the kind of projects that we are trying to crack are not that difficult. So that is how we keep them motivated. And most of them like culture wise, most of our people are from engineering background, so they are interested in these kind of emerging technologies. So it
Hmm.
makes it easy for us to kind of come up with solutions.
Yeah, I think, like you said, the real challenge for a company like yours is coming up with the ideas on an ongoing basis because you talked about how you don't like to scale too much with each solution. You like to come up with kind of one-off ideas here and there, which is really cool. I think that must be a big challenge, and it's very impressive that you can actually um, keep that up and keep generating really good quality ideas. Um, so yeah, that's really really impressive. Um,
Mhm.
so yeah, what I'd also like to talk about is kind of when you're starting a company, a lot of
Mhm.
startup founders have a real
Mhm.
struggle with funding, and that can also um, it can kind of make or break a startup. So I think it's really important for me to talk to you about funding, startup funding, raising capital, because a lot of young entrepreneurs who might be listening to this, one of the big
Mhm.
things that they need to know is how do you raise capital. So have you had any struggles when it comes to raising capital? Um, talk to me about what, how you started off when you first started. Where did you approach? How did you approach raising capital?
Okay, so we are a bootstrap. We have not received any sort of funding from outside investors. But I feel your biggest investors are your clients. If you do good work for them, if you can convince them, your clients will pay for your growth. I mean, that's how I look at it. So for the initial first 3 4 years, I think what my approach has been is to pitch our products and services to our clients and generate revenues, and then maintain a small and lean organization wherein we don't have to spend too much of money on office interiors and stuff like that, which don't matter to the client basically. What matters to the clients is the delivery, is the quality of service. So if we can stay focused on that and not spend on things which are unnecessary, or may could be delayed for a few years, that's what I feel.
Hmm. That's a really, really smart way of looking at things. I think that's probably the best possible approach that you can take, is to just focus on your products, focus on delivering a really high quality service, and the clients will help you to fund that journey without having to sacrifice large portions of your equity over to um, private investors and so on and so forth. So you've taken a really, really smart approach there. And has that not have you not found that an issue? Like, was there not times when you were starting to get close to that point where you might need to look for capital? That must have been a bit of a anxiety for you, was it not?
Yes, yes, but so what most of the time what I've done is I've used like, obviously I've got lots of like credit cards. You use your credit cards, you use take loans from banks whenever it's required. Banks are willing to provide loans up to certain extent. So so yeah, that's how we managed, through bank loans, credit cards, or maybe overdraft facility, OD facility.
Yeah, that's really interesting, and it's worked for you. So that's a really it must be a really positive thing for anyone listening to this to hear that you don't actually need to, go out on a massive funding round to keep your business alive. It's very possible, and it's actually a really good option to take a different route and grow your company organically.
Right.
Yeah,
And see, just one point I want to add. So
yeah,
so
sure.
people, uh, if I have to go for funding, I have to be convinced about the idea which can be scaled. So right now, if you look at our model, it's not a scalable model.
Hmm.
Currently, we are working with, so we don't require funding with existing model. But if we want to go with B2B, like I said, interactive gaming experiences, that is when we will go for funding.
Okay, so you think it is an option for the future then?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, we've talked about funding. When you were looking to start your company, did you kind
Mhm.
of did you have that idea already in your head, or was it kind of like you knew you wanted to start a company, but then you had to find the idea, or was it that you had the idea and then you thought, right, this could be a really good company, let's make it happen?
So when I decided to start this company, it was more about survival. It was more about doing things on my own, and the idea. I just had some basic ideas, like if I can do this thing, I can try it out. But I had no idea that I we could survive as a company for 4 years. So we
Yeah,
just
yeah.
went with the flow. That's it.
And were you previously really interested in these emerging technologies? Was that a passion for you? AR, VR, was that something that had fascinated you in the years leading up to starting the company?
Yeah, so if you look at AR and VR, they started kind of coming like big companies started kind of coming up with good quality products after 2015. So initially, since beginning, I was interested in games and all, and then when this product, like good quality products, let's say HTC Vive or Oculus Rift, AK2, they came into the market, then the quality of experience went up. So that is when we thought this could be a big area.
Yeah, that's really, really cool, really interesting. And I think we're getting close to the end of the interview, so I'll ask you one more question. But just before I do, um, where can the listeners find you on social media? Would you like them to follow you on LinkedIn or check out the company YouTube channel?
Both YouTube and LinkedIn. They can
Absolutely.
find
So,
the
so I'll put the links in the description of the YouTube video, or or yeah, I'll put the on the screen. I'll put a little link to follow you. So I would highly suggest that you go and subscribe to the YouTube channel of Inception X. There's some really, really high quality videos of some of the solutions that they offer. So yeah, just to finish up, my final question is, what impact would you like to have on the world?
Mm, so impact, whatever we create should enhance people's life and quality of experiences. So
Absolutely.
what?
I really resonate strongly with that. I think it's a really great mission to have to improve the lives of others. So thank you so much for coming on the podcast. This has been a really, really interesting talk. I've learned a lot and it's been a pleasure to speak to you.
Thanks, thanks for inviting me. Thank
Best
you.
of luck coming out of this crisis, and I wish you all the best for the coming year.
Sure. Thank you. Take care.
Awesome. Speak to you again soon.